So we picked out a stupid name, had some cards printed up for a couple of bucks, and we was on our way to fame.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today is Monday again, August 3rd, 2020. It's another Monday. They just keep rolling by like rounds in a magazine. What's new? It's all the same. There's so many things that are... Twigs, what's on your mind, man?
Well, happy Monday, boys. Hope you all had a good weekend. Patriots out there, hope you all are doing good. I don't know, man. It's shit's crazy as ever out there. It don't seem like it's getting any better, that's for sure. Vic?
It's Monday already. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I feel like everything's just heating up. Things seem like they're just getting heated up. Destruction across many cities, burning, looting, and murdering happening.
Yeah, and
it just seems like these different waves of it keep coming through. It's like you think for a split second that maybe just,
something.
No, not at all.
Everything's just,
Not
I woke up this morning and I swear for an instant as I came to consciousness, I thought for a moment that this whole mask thing and all this coronavirus shit had been a dream. I thought I woke up in a regular world and it was some kind of weird dream. But instantly, just a couple seconds passed and I realized that was the dream. And it was a very odd sensation, odd experience. Is Portland under control? Anybody know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
for
I
the
don't
most
know.
part, compared to what it was, I think.
So how many people died from coronavirus during all that?
The problem is they can't get it under control because you really can't hurt the people the way you need to end it all. They have to nicely end it because they're American citizens. You just can't go in there which would be too easy.
Well, they were
have to
pulling them
protect
off
the
the street
people.
in vans and stuff, weren't they?
Well, yeah, they
On
have
the
to
way to jail.
protect the people there, and it's tough. It's tough dealing with this specific group of people. It's real tough. They're just troublemakers. They're just troublemakers. They're agitating. They're like cattle dogs.
Thugs.
They're like cattle dog agitators out there, just tough to listen to and tough to deal with, and stay calm at the same time. That's why it's rough down there in those scenes. They will swarm like ants, and you could get devoured.
So
Twigs.
Yeah. Well, that's why if they're going to be swarming like ants, then the federal government needs to start acting a little more like Raid, no pun intended. So it's I mean, it's a little bit crazy.
Raid!
Though they, yeah, right. Raid. I can't believe you remember that. That's awesome.
Of course. Do you remember the Orkin man who used to be like a Terminator?
Yes.
Instead of wearing a stupid Orkin uniform, he was the fucking Orkin Terminator guy, like a mech warrior type dude.
You should post that on Facebook and watch how many people call you racist. I'm sure they'll figure out a way to make that racist.
Where in the hell?
Oh yeah, somebody will make it racist.
Where in the hell is all of this going, guys?
Listen, we're trying to resolve some sort of
what is the end
sort of focus
game
here. Look, everything is just so
BLM.
goddamn crazy. There's so many things that I just don't even know where to start. The kids have to wear masks in school.
Yep.
Okay.
Horrible.
This is terrible. Do we figure out that is going on in these counties around
It's
here?
happening. It's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I talked to multiple sources. Yep.
What about
spaced out desks? Yeah, spaced out desks, shields, face masks all day.
Shields.
Yeah. So kids.
Yeah, like desk
kids
shields.
whose worlds are basically made out of magic and are so impressionable, and things that they think about in their minds are conjured into existence before their eyes, basically, when they're that young, the ages that I'm talking about. And these kids don't have the cognitive, they don't have the complex reasoning. I'm so tired. Been up for 36 hours, guys. yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? It's, they can't really understand what's going on right now. I'm trying to say that in a little bit more eloquent fashion. So all they understand is to be afraid of each other. They understand that their parents are freaking out and the world is freaking out and everybody's freaking out and everyone's wearing masks and everyone's got to stay away from each other. And that's all that their brain is trying to assimilate, and it's creating a reality for them that's going to be very real to them for the rest of their lives. Things that are formed.
I'll tell you what, though.
Yeah.
If I was back in elementary school in those times, back then you got to sit in that bus desk. It was like a big cardboard bus,
Yeah.
and like the student of the week got to sit in there. I would
What are you
sit in
talking
there. That now, if the desks were like those buses,
What
that
bus
wouldn't
now?
be bad.
You lost me with the bus desk. I remember the
Back
desk
in
with
elementary
cubby
school,
holes.
they used to have desks that had a cardboard bus. It looked like a bus. It was cardboard. You
Oh, I
sat in
vaguely
it. It
remember
looked like
something
you were the
like that.
driver of the bus.
Yeah, I gotcha.
That would be the best way to do it. But you know what? It's probably pretty stupid anyways. They don't do it for the flu or anything else.
Wait, are you talking about building barriers between these kids?
Well, that's what you said, or Twigs mentioned
Yeah.
is
That's what they
going
are
on. They're
doing.
putting up shields. That
Yeah.
would be a better way to shield these kids. Put them in little mini buses that they already like, so they don't feel like, of course they're
Yeah,
probably
but they aren't going to like
plastic
it.
shields.
Kids like being in the bus
Yeah,
for
but
a
it's-
minute. They don't want to be in the bus all day, 360, every fucking day of the school year, 6 to 8 hours a
Yeah.
day, staying away
point.
from each other, telling, and they still have to wear masks, don't they? Do the kids have to wear masks?
They do.
Look at that.
All
Look
day.
at that. They
Oh
got
my
me
God.
complying.
So-
They got me complying.
All day.
Damn it.
I just
right here
got
on the show.
How did you
no,
com-
Victrix, you had no. I mean, that's it's a good point. I mean, it would be. I think you're right that it would make it a little easier to process for these kids to do something like that. But yeah, I mean, I just talked to somebody today, just right before the show, and it's a young gal, and she lives here locally, and she's got 3 kids. And yeah, she was telling me that they, because she was asking about Marley and or my daughter, and she said, yeah, she said the virtual schooling didn't suit her kids very well, towards the end of the last school year, and that she's got to send them to school, but they have to wear masks. She said they got to wear masks 8 hours a day.
Are they allowed to
I'll
touch
tell
each other?
you-
Like, what happens if the kid needs a
They have
Band-Aid
to
for a
practice
boo-boo?
social distancing.
What if the kid?
You know
What
what I
if
mean?
the
But-
kid is sad and needs a hug?
Well, here's what I think is going to happen. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise, because if you really think about it, I mean, maybe the older kids will handle it a little bit better, but
Well, I
there's
don't
no
have
way
any,
they.
they will. Their
but
brains are
there's-
working
but-
better.
But there's no way that these little kids are gonna. I mean, there's no way the teachers are going to be able to control this. There's no way that they're going to be. I mean, I think after a certain
There'll be
amount of time,
kindergarten riots.
everybody's just going to get fed up. The teachers aren't going to be able to teach if they got to focus on making sure that they've got these kids' masks on. Like, I'm starting to wonder if it's almost just going to be such a clusterfuck that teachers are just going to say, whatever, like, take your mask off. I don't care.
That's
I'm starting to think that might happen, because
Yeah.
I can't see how teachers are going to be able to deal with it. I mean, especially these younger kids. How are they going to be able to do it? How are they going to be able to control? They're going to spend their whole time trying to discipline these kids and focus on these masks, and it's going to take away from their whole learning experience.
and
I
it's
just
also
don't
just
see
going to make
teachers.
it more of a nightmare for the kids.
I just don't see. I can't see the teachers really being able to be effective, at least at the younger age, because I mean,
that's the
I
ones
just
that I'm
can't see it.
primarily concerned with. That's the ones where
Yeah,
I'm
that's
talking
what's that's what's
kindergarten.
critical. Yeah, that's what's
know?
critical. Absolutely, you're right. You're
Kindergarten,
100%
first, second,
right.
third grade.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
know.
I agree. For
Oh
sure.
yeah, these kids have no idea what's going on.
Not a clue
So
in the
like
world.
like you said, well, no, they're just
they just want to be playing
dreamers.
kickball. Yeah.
Yeah, they're dreamers. They want to play kickball and then
Or do kids even
ride
do
a
that
dirt
anymore?
bike all for the next hour in their brain. You know,
Yeah. Hey, I did that a
Kickball's
lot,
probably
too.
too violent.
The dirt bike in the brain. I wonder, is that true? What does recess exist anymore? Recess has the little kids.
Oh
still
yeah,
go,
they definitely have
go play
recess,
outside,
yeah.
right? Okay.
you got to have sports in the schools. You got to have sports.
Well, what about with coronavirus?
You got to have these kids running around and
Yeah.
But
and
are they?
plus it's good because
Well, I don't know yet. They
uh,
haven't started school yet.
it's good for meeting friends and stuff. That's sports is huge.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
it's
sports
socializing.
is huge.
You're advocating with us for this I see. Yes, this is so. This
Well, we
is
need
more
to
that's
get
not
these
happening
schools
though.
open back up. The
Yeah, they
schools
need to
are gonna
get.
they got to get open back up.
Well, what blows my
What-
mind is that they haven't, like the Pediatric Society or whatever, and a lot of these, a lot of national doctors, these folks that have a voice aside from the Faucis and the Birches or whatever. I mean, they all agree that the kids need to be in school, but nobody's addressing the fact that not only do the kids not get sick and die from this, like they don't even have conclusive evidence that it can be transmitted from kids to adults, assuming you believe that there even is something going on.
Oh,
Didn't
the
the kiwi
numbers are
fruit get it? Didn't somebody
ridiculous.
test a kiwi fruit positive
Yeah,
for
like I mean, and they're just
coronavirus?
for whatever it is that they're testing for. I'm still not convinced about all the. I'm still not convinced that it's whatever they say it
Well,
is.
see, I wonder
But
how much time should we spend on that? There's so many goddamn things to talk about because that's another thing that the whole thing. I mean, we're so focused on everything to trying to counter everything that's going on in the news that I wonder if it's even should we even. God, it's the whole fucking thing. This doesn't happen in nature. There's no such thing as a goddamn new virus on Earth, people. This is not happening the way that they tell you it is happening.
for sure,
Is there any point to pursuing that with these zombie people?
I don't know. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, but I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen some of this other stuff floating around as far as the H1N1 virus that happened under the Obama administration.
Yeah,
I
nobody
mean,
cared.
they're estimating all these cases, but they stopped testing that completely, so they don't even have accurate numbers
Oh,
on
there
it.
was what,
And,
60
then,
million
yeah,
cases?
and they're estimating because they halted testing. Now
So
for
you mean
this,
it's still going on and nobody even knows? People could be infected with it all over the place, and it's
who
not
knows
even
if
a big
that thing
deal.
was even real? I
Yes,
don't
it
know.
wasn't. It wasn't. It was another Fauci
Like
invention.
like who knows what? I mean, but my
He was
point is
behind all
like
the fake viruses.
my point is if we're going to go apples to apples, whether you believe it or not, I mean, as far as the numbers go, that one was way worse. I mean,
Yeah.
even whether you believe it or not, I mean, if you look at the numbers that they've got, although they're only estimates because they stopped testing, so now nobody has any concrete data to compare to.
The numbers early on were bad. People were in the hospitals.
Yeah.
It was bad, but now it's not. I guess
I don't think it ever was bad.
they weren't treating people correctly at first. Now they're treating them right. There's not many cases at all in the actual hospitals, from what I've just heard today from
All
a
the
source.
hospitals
Yeah,
around
for
here are
COVID.
empty.
Yeah, for COVID. I was talking
Because
about the
they've treated
H1N1.
everybody. They've properly treated them. It's like a blood clot, that clotting that was happening. Like I said, they weren't treating them correctly. For like I said, from what I heard earlier today, I don't even know where the hell it was out of, but they didn't know what to do at first. Once they started getting that figured out, they actually started treating people. People weren't coming in, and they were totally losing their breath. They didn't know what to do. They found out it was clotting. Gave them the hydroxy. What's
They're
that?
intubating people, and they shouldn't be, from what I understand. And I've heard
Well, yeah,
this
they
from
gave them the
doctors.
hydroxychloroquine.
Yep.
And that actually is what's keeping all these people out of these hospitals. From what I heard, there's a million things going around. Who knows what the hell is what?
I think it's just a bunch of genetic junk that practically
That's-
everybody carries around. And
That's exactly what it is.
yeah, it's nothing. Who even knows
That's
if
a
it's
good
from
way
a
to put
virus?
it. Some genetic junk.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what the test is. That's what they're testing for. That's what a PCR
Mhm.
test is. And I mean, we've talked about this a million times. I mean, Robbie, you know how all that shit works. And it's all bullshit, man. It really is. Like they haven't, they try to release these papers that say they actually isolated this quote unquote virus, but none of it's not like they didn't. Like if you dig deep
Yeah.
into it, we can do a whole,
They can't tell the difference
segment on
between it
that.
and any other coronavirus.
No. And they try calling it a novel virus when it's really like 80%
Yeah.
match to the common cold. So
if
that's
you've
not
ever had
really,
a cold, you'll probably
that's-
test positive.
that's not even really technically a novel virus.
No,
even
they're
if it,
lying to
so
people.
it's just all bullshit. And now they keep coming out with all these new articles where they're like, oh well, we're learning more and more every day about how this affects the whole body, and now we think that it attacks the your nervous system and it attacks your brain now too. And I'm
another
like,
thing I
what
wanna talk
the
about.
like?
Yeah,
Like,
it
are
sits
you
in your
kidding
ear.
me?
It sits in your ear.
Like,
Right in
Every
your
day
ear.
there's
I know.
another reason that it should be the apocalypse, and there's
Yes.
more things that need to stand up to proof. And every day they just make it more unbelievable because there's none, because they make it more. Every day they try to make it sound more apocalyptic, and every day is just the same. It's fucking clear blue sky. It would be a normal world if everyone would just go about their normal lives.
I agree. And I wish we
What
could
the-
get more people to do that. I really do. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do it. I mean, we're doing
That's
everything
the
we
whole
can.
problem, man.
We're all vocal. But I mean, it's like,
They're sheep.
and I know a lot of people feel the same way. I mean, I do feel like there's probably a lot of people that, that feel the same way, but at the same time, they've got to put food on the table. So it's like,
Right.
I can't, like not everybody can just get up and walk away from their job. Not everybody can just
But
get up.
everyone is going. But
you know?
everybody did all at once, it would change.
Right.
There has to be some kind of coordination somehow, but people have to get on board. Coordination will come on its own. I mean, people will coordinate if people are on board. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just too many people that are just zombies still. Just
I agree.
Well,
I get-
everybody has to wake up and live day to day. I mean, you still got to keep moving, but at the same time, it's in the back of everybody's heads. Everybody knows it's there. It's
but everyone's afraid.
everyone's dealing with it.
everybody
what's
is afraid.
next?
Yeah, everybody is
What's
afraid.
next?
But we got to keep pumping the information out. We got to keep making people aware because eventually there will be a leader that rises, and it's not going to be the president, although he is trying. But somebody's gonna. I mean, there's enough people out there
I agree with that.
wa-
It's not going to be Trump.
that want to make things happen, and I don't think it can be. I mean,
No, it
it's not
can't.
that it just can't. Like it's going to have to be something organic from the ground up. And I know, Robbie, you've
Precisely.
said that in the past. And I agree with that. It's I don't know who it's going to be, but I mean, people are starting to wake up slowly, but we're running out of time. And
Well, look,
eventually-
it can't,
eventually-
with liberals in the way, it can't be anybody. So
no, it will be. No, somebody's going to rise up. There's going to be a lot of people that try. There's going to be a lot of. I mean, something's going to click. Sometime, somewhere with somebody, something's going to click, and it's just going to be like a switch. I don't know who it's going to be or when it's going to be, but something.
That is the way it'll happen.
But something
Who
is going
knows
to
what it'll be?
Yeah,
but
I don't
you
know
know.
what. Yeah, I don't know what, where, who, or when, but
I have a feeling it'll be before the election.
it has to be, and
It
there
has
has
to
to be
be.
either that or there has to be something bigger that goes down than this.
how long
And-
can they drag it out for?
They could drag this out for years, dude. Easily.
This
if
is a
they
dragger
really,
out,
They
or-
try hard enough.
It just all depends on how much people are willing to put up with. How much will they accept? There's I think that's something Ben Franklin
Well,
said.
what can you do? If you can't accept it, what do you go in your room and fucking yell into your pillow? There ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yeah,
what you
that
gonna do
never,
about it? Fuck
you
you gonna
stay,
do
you
about
stand up and protest. You stand up. I mean, we just got to keep pumping information out there. That's all we can do. And,
Yeah.
That's all
and
we
keep-
can
Oh.
do about it.
and keep letting people know
There's
that we
nothing you
support.
can
that they're-
directly do at any moment. Like, it's not like you can drive somewhere and do something about it. That's what sucks about all this. It's just this invisible issue.
Yeah, and
You
people would
know,
have you
it's-
believe that you
it's
have to drive somewhere
ridiculous.
though, but you don't. You see people there. I like how people on the interwebs, social media and whatnot, they ridicule people like
Take it.
those
Take
of us
it,
on the
Ron.
program.
Take it.
I've got it, Victor. Where am I taking it to? Is there
Take
some
it
direction? We got to. Ooh. You got. We got a timer going, man. Do we want to do a brief episode here today? Because we're only halfway through, fellas.
I got plenty of time. I mean, I don't know.
Listen, I think everybody's pretty tired. I am pretty tired, but I think, God damn it, Victor, you made me lose my train of thought. That's okay. It happens all
Sorry,
the time.
Rob. I wasn't saying end the show. I just said take it home.
Damn, how you confused
All right,
me. Look, I've been up for
and-
36 hours. Okay, so
And Chop,
listen,
as you were.
let's see, it's only it'll go so far as people are willing to allow it to go. What was your thought after that, Twigs? God damn it! Somebody help me
look, no,
recover here.
yeah, I got you. And it's the thing is, I think that well, first of all, we know that they're in panic mode. We know the left or the deep state or whatever, the cabal, whatever you want to call them. You know,
It's red alert mode,
these
without a
evil
doubt.
people, we know they're in panic mode. We know that they're trying to make this happen as fast as possible. And I honestly think that they're probably shocked at how much they're getting away with. Like, because they probably would have done this sooner if they thought that it would be this easy.
This is
I-
how
I
it's
really-
been.
I don't
I
think it
really-
would have
through
been
the
this
Obama
easy
years.
earlier.
It's how it's been.
I don't
They
think
get
they.
away with
I don't
all
think they
ki-
thought
get
that.
away with it all.
I don't think they thought that it would be this easy. I mean,
I
if
don't
you
think it would have been.
Oh, on this
I
level.
think something
yeah, on
happened.
this level.
Dude,
Yeah.
I think something happened to the collective psyche of the nation in like the last and I noticed it around Hurricane Irma. It happened like around 2016. I never saw so much hype about a hurricane, and I never saw so much panic about a hurricane. And they literally hurricane parties. People literally just sit on their lawns and drink beer during hurricanes around here. No true Floridian is afraid of a hurricane.
Right.
And almost nobody evacuates, even if they're in the path of a fucking Category 5 hurricane. And then all of a sudden, Hurricane Irma, there was some way that the reporting was different, and they were just incessant about it. And there was just some subtle difference in the urgency of the reporting, and they caused a panic like I've never seen before. And they literally got everybody, the whole fucking state evacuated for the first time in the history of for fucking ever. The entire goddamn state of Florida left, and I blew my mind. And I've seen a pattern like that ever since in the way people
it was a
react to things.
Category 5 that hit
It
the
was a-
hot waters of the Gulf, and then it broke down to a fucking Category 1 in seconds. And they changed the radar color from red to the rain color
Yeah,
of the regular. Yeah, and just like that, they were like, "Yep, it's 90 miles an hour." Like, huh?
and the whole
It
state
was.
of Florida had
I don't know what
evacuated.
happened with that.
It was so weird, so
They were
bizarre.
freaking everybody out with that. It was
But
like a
now it's the same
Category
thing going
4
on
to
with the
5.
masks, dude. They're instilling the same kind of panic in people, just getting them to do a different thing. I felt like, I swear to God, when it was happening, we didn't know anything about what was going on with coronavirus back then. This is like 2016 Irma came, but I swear to you, as it was going on, as it was happening, I was like, this is some kind of fucking experiment. They are trying to see what they can scare people into doing, because never in the history of the fucking country has that happened before. Not ever. Nobody has ever the state of Florida has never packed up and fucking left. Never.
Yeah. Well, my
when there's
daughter.
a Category 5 coming, you do.
No.
Yeah,
They've
well-
never done it before. Not like that in the history of forever. There was some way that the reporting got into people's heads. Something says, I can't quite put my finger on it.
I don't know what happened either. I mean, I do know. I mean, personally, I would never have left. I did because my daughter wasn't even 2 years old, so I was a little nervous about that. You know, with her, like, okay, well, what if my power does go out? I know I'm
Mhm.
fine, but she has more. A child less than 2 years old is a little a little more to
Your
worry about
power
than
goes
yeah.
out.
than a
There's a lot of
full-grown
your
man.
roof
I'm not
could
saying
blow
nobody evacuates, right? But the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
state left this time.
But I'm right
in
there.
an
But I'm right there with
unprecedented
you.
fashion.
No, my point is, like, I was so focused on her that I wasn't aware of what you're talking about. But like looking back now, like I can see what you're saying. Like I didn't notice it at the time because
Well,
I was
Twigs.
just
Oh,
my
it was
family.
as plain as
But
day.
it
It
was
was
a
as plain to me
Category
as the
5.
coronavirus was now. I mean, back then that was as plain to me
Right.
back then as all this coronavirus shit was when everyone was calling me crazy at the beginning of all this. It was just easy to see. Easy.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a Cat 5 downgraded to a Cat 1 in minutes.
Yeah.
As it came up to Marco Island, and that's why everybody left. And I even left. Me and Rye Bread took off. Okay, we were staying somewhere,
remember.
undisclosed location, undisclosed bunker, and we got so far north there was no gas stations open. We had to shoot back home. We actually left, and we had to come back to Northport, where the storm was coming direct hit. Now they were showing a Category 4 at that point. We was about few hours out. We didn't know what to do. We were stuck. We thought we were about to get hit by a 4. Ended up being a rainstorm.
Yeah.
Just like that. I'm telling you, they had the radar as a big red blob. It was like a saw blade, and as it curved up into the Gulf, all of a sudden they changed the radar to green, and it was just the rain color, the green color. And all of a sudden it was just like, huh? So this is only going to be 80 miles an hour?
Yeah.
When it was just 140 a couple hours ago. That was kind of weird, but it came and did some damage, but
It did. I mean, I mean, it
nothing
wasn't. I
like
mean,
what they were showing.
Yeah.
no. I mean,
just before.
yeah, we went up to the northern part of this. I mean, we didn't leave the state, but I just wanted to get inland a little bit, so I went north and inland a little bit. I mean, I wasn't going to try to like go all the way up north or anything. I just didn't want to be right close to the water because I knew that it would
Yeah.
break up, even if it
It
did
went
make
right up
landfall.
through Jacksonville. It was
Yeah,
hitting
across the state.
100,
it did.
100
It did,
miles an hour.
but it's just those direct hits that you got to worry about. Like once it makes landfall, like it dissipates pretty quick. I mean, like, you drop it down to a 2 or a 3 and you're going to be fine. If you
But
got
there's definitely a big
you're in a
difference
halfway decent
between
structure
a 3 to a 5
5. Yeah, exactly.
down to a 1. That's why everybody left, is what I'm saying. Even I was like, what is that on the screen? Dude,
Yeah.
it was huge. It was, we'll find a picture next show.
Yeah. I mean,
It was
big, but I still don't-
ridiculous, and it was coming for us on a direct hit. We didn't know what to do, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like I said, it was like a 1, just like that. We were like, okay, yeah. We slept right through it. It didn't even rock the house, nothing. It was just a little rainstorm. Like I said, the one side of the hurricane, you probably got the higher winds. It wasn't as pleasant. Marco Island, they took the brunt of it as it first came in, but overall it wasn't as bad. But there was still a lot of power lines down. Power was out in our area for a long time. I was fortunate it came right on for me, but I knew people that didn't have it for a good couple weeks.
I don't think we had power for a week or 2. But it didn't
Oh
matter,
man,
man.
it was so hot out too. When it was so hot out, I remember getting home, laying down, and I said, all right, open the windows up. I said, let's do this. And it was miserable. And I said, oh man, as right as I started to pass out, the air turned on, everything turned on. I said, oh, closed everything up. I felt bad, man. A lot of people didn't have air for a long time.
Yeah.
In this area.
Yeah, it's not the first time that it's happened.
Off of a 1, off of a category 1.
Yeah, they knocked power
That's why
out.
you get the hell out of town when they say it's going to be a 4 or 5. That's
Not to that.
house,
That's the
the
scale,
roof
dude.
could
Has never
blow
happened
off.
like that. The keys,
The roof
everything,
can blow
fucking
off.
everything closed, dude. Everything. Well, sure. There's, I mean, look, there's always the hurricanes cause damage where they make landfall. There's been plenty of hugely destructive storms that have made landfall in Florida over the years, in my lifetime, in our lifetime. An evacuation of this scale has never happened. The state of Florida left. Okay, look, for example, Hurricane Andrew, where'd that hit? Miami-Dade, Broward, all that. Let's, you would hypothetically, right? Okay, so you would evacuate like those counties, right? That's in my mind. I mean, that's the reason. That's what I think happened in the past. If there was ever an evacuation order, it was like for right where it's going to make it, that you would evacuate those areas. The whole fucking state left. The state went to other states.
Yeah, well, let's not forget. I mean, the political environment was still pretty toxic at the time. So
yes, it was. That's why I thought it was an experiment.
So I don't know if it was an experiment. I think it was more.
It was not. Look, it was
I
just
think
like
it was
this
more
coronavirus shit.
I don't think so. I don't think it was an intentional thing. I think it was a scared thing.
My jaw was on the ground when it was happening.
We got a 5 coming. If we don't get people out of here, they're going to use this against us. That's what I think it was. I think it was like, you know what? We can't afford to have, the left attacking us and telling,
that's an admission that it was propaganda, man.
This is Florida's Katrina, this or that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would consider that. I think it would be paranoia versus propaganda.
Well, I suppose propaganda might not be a precise term to use, but
yeah, because that seems like there's more of an intentional, like they're intentionally trying to mislead people. I think they were just paranoid and they were concerned that they didn't want this to be their Katrina, and
it was very weird to me. There was something so weird about it. I might have to compile everything that I remember. It was just baffling to me. Couldn't understand.
Yeah. But anyways, I mean, that's,
But that just all leads up to what's going on now. I felt like it was, I swear to you, back then, I felt like this was a small scale test bed for some kind. I felt like they were trying to see what they could scare people into doing. And now they've scared the world into wearing masks and shutting everything down. and the two, it's just such an uncanny correlation to me. And I'll have to lay it all out on paper for the program sometime or something like that. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you might
You
be
know.
onto something there. I mean, I didn't think about it that way, because I mean, it was a pretty legit storm at one point. But I hear what you're saying. Like I said, I was so focused on my family that I wasn't really paying attention to that stuff.
Yeah.
But looking back now, it does make sense.
Well, I didn't have such things to focus on. I focused entirely on what was going on external to me. So
If only we had TikTok back then. You know, we could have had a ton of cool little
we had enough
videos to
back
share.
then. That's
Have you guys heard about TikTok and that whole shit that's going on?
yeah. Isn't it gone? It's gone now already, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't think
Is it
so.
removed from the App Store? How do they do that? How do they
Well,
implement that?
I don't know. Trump was talking about, getting it out of America, and now Microsoft is talking about buying it, which is just what we need. It was owned by China. Now Microsoft wants to buy
Yeah,
it.
well, what's the
That
difference?
sounds
Of course they want to
exactly.
buy it.
Yeah.
Of course
And
they
Trump
want to buy
and
it.
Trump came out and said, "Well, if they make that deal, then United States should get a cut of that." Trump's hilarious, man. He's the ultimate troll. I love that
He
guy.
is. Absolutely he is. Listen, guys, I think we're winding down here. Vic, can you just give us a little bit of closure for all the craziness
Well,
that's going on?
look, everybody's definitely baffled at what's going on. I mean, obviously, this is the weirdest stuff we've ever seen ever in the country. This is as weird as it gets. I mean, we've seen people let a little rage out on like one day on an occasion, just hey, they're going to go out and cause some shit. But every single day, this persistence is puke disgusting. Look, all I can tell you is tune into the program. We're going to keep talking about it. This isn't something you can just figure out in one day. This is like the White Walkers are coming. I mean, they don't stop until they're flying your fucking dragon and it's got your color eyes, their color eyes. They don't stop. They're not going to stop. We're going to slow them down, though. It's the program. I'm out. Rob, Twigs.
Twigs,
bring it
can we
on.
have some final thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I said it before. I'll say it again. This ain't over. It's only going to get worse, unfortunately. But thank God for this group that we have got here, and I know there's a lot of other people out there that feel the same way. And like I always say, love God, love people, but we got to be fierce in defending our families and our values and in our American principles. And we got to keep fighting the good fight. So everybody, just know you're not alone. We're out there. Let's keep America great, right?
Yeah.
Let's keep America great. You're damn right, Twigs.
I feel like people like what we're doing. From the people that I talk to, they say that they really like what we're doing, that there's just something about this that is different than what everyone else is doing. It's more uplifting and everything else is too stupid and depressing, basically, is the gist that I've gotten from the people who I've spoken to about what we're doing here. And let's see. As far as what we're doing and being effective in what we're doing, you'll notice on the internet that people are always trying to disparage you by calling you a keyboard warrior or something like that, just for example. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a war that is being fought in the hearts and minds of people. And your voice is absolutely the most powerful weapon that you have. You use it to spread ideas. The only way to solve this problem is to get people on the same page, to get people to see the same thing. Okay. And the only way to do that is through communication. And it's obviously effective. Otherwise, the tech giants wouldn't try and stifle it. Aside from that, the thing I always want to say is I don't understand why people protest for their rights. The nature of rights is that you have them. They come before and without government. Government doesn't give them to you. If they did, they'd be privileges, and they will never be rights again, people. They will always be privileges if you wait to have them given back to you. The very nature of what they are requires that you take them by force, that you stand up and you just take them. You have them. You use them. You go use them. Everyone needs to take off the masks and just go back to life as though none of this ever happened. Businesses need to open. Patrons need to patron. And the world needs to, if everyone just goes back to life and pretends that it never happened, that is precisely the way it will be. It will be like magic, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time.